Yes, we should be live. At least according to my Twitter.
Let me see. Yes, I see this. Okay.
go
The
click
YouTube
play.
is live as well. Yeah, I think YouTube should be live as well. Okay. Both of these, I can see them. Let me just
Yeah, let's show everything quickly and
share post.
I hope this is not a local top. If it is, all refunds from Adam.
What the fuck is the share on timeline button, which used to be somewhere
Just go
here?
on my account and you can just go tweet it. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, I'm old person with technology. One second. Okay, so this is posted. This is okay. I have posted the ref links in the chat. The streams are sponsored by BonkBot, so if you guys would like to show some love and support, it's going to help us. BonkBot is launching their own trading platform soon, so it's going to be more than just a Telegram bot. And it's going to be a good place to get some on-chain trades, which might be making a comeback since it's pretty
Since there's a green candle
right now. But once the memes are back, you want to be ready for that, and you can check out the BonkBot for that as well, since they are going to be launching a bunch of cool stuff and features soon. So I hope you are doing well. I, for whatever reason, do not see chat on Twitter. Okay,
I can see it. It's fine. I can manage it.
Yeah, I'm just like don't have enough screen space for it. Okay, I see both chats now. So cool. Hi guys. Welcome to the next stream. Hope you've been doing well. We had a little bit of a break, which once again was my fault. I managed to kind of unexpectedly move to a different country again. So
Evading tax authorities again.
Yeah, the tax evasion and being on a
Welcome to
FBI,
Dubai.
yeah, most wanted list is not an easy lifestyle. So, but here we are. And Bitcoin is trading, breaking up today. We just had FOMC. To be to be fair, when we talked about streaming today, and we agreed at the 8 p.m. this our time at least, or this time. I thought we are going to be streaming throughout the FOMC. I completely did not realize that there was a time change, so it already happened. I was just like having a shower, and then I was like, why everything is moving so much? So, yeah, this kind of explains my dedication to the trading in the last week or so, where I was kind of AFK. But it seems like we are getting a little bit of a risk-on environment. BTC breaking up, the obviously S&P is up today. Basically everything is up. Russell and Dow are
Damn,
kind
even
of
my Tesla is up.
leading. Yeah, probably. The single name stocks are also going to be kind of bouncing at this point, but I think they have been quite underperforming, although some of them are also starting to look pretty decent. We had like a huge sell-off. Pretty interesting stuff for TradFi. I'm probably not going to go much into it since this is a BTC mostly stream, but there has been a lot of doom boasting on TradFi. Um, these last couple of weeks, I think probably a good kind of local bottom. The TradFi macro doomers are often as kind of insane insane as the CT tends to be when stuff is going down. So I saw a lot of end of the world scenarios lately. So although I'm not long BTC personally, I am long the indices, so at least something there. um, so let's talk about Bitcoin. Do you have any remarks? Did anything interesting happen from the Sailor? I saw Sailor did something again,
Mm-hmm.
which some people got mad about. So yeah, I think you're gonna be a little bit better to kind of take us through it because, like I said, I haven't been that much around, and overall, I quickly shared some of my thoughts yesterday. I still feel like, although obviously we are moving up today, so we are so back and people are not sharing tier lists on CT because price is up 3% on day. um, but yeah, for me this is still kind of a sluggish, slower price action. So probably if you have some
Mm-hmm.
stuff that you've been watching what happened in the last couple of days, it would be better if you take over here.
Well, Sailor basically what he's done last couple of weeks. Him and Strategy, his company, they launched multiple different like new investment vehicles, if you will. So you have a classic micro strategy, you have the Stark thing. I'm not sure if you've seen that, and they also launched like a new thing. Basically they keep launching new financial products but they're the like without trying to mock it or just to actually give an explanation. It's like just for different audience, if you will. But I found it extremely hilarious that basically Sailor earlier today shared Bitcoin, like was bull posting Bitcoin against Turkish lira. Which is like hey dude, like he basically stopped buying Bitcoin. They bought like 10 million. I'm not sure if you've seen. They announced $10 million purchase on Monday,
Yeah, it's like
130
super
BTC
low.
basically,
Yeah.
and today he started posting Turkish lira charts. I'm like, okay, dude, that is like good indication. No, so when it comes to BTC, not much. I mean, I do believe, even though you're saying you're only looking at indices, um, it is the most correlated I've seen markets in a while.
Yeah, it at the
And
end
as
of the
much as
day,
we
it
hate
it
it,
is.
as
Yeah,
much as
it's
we can
a
hate it and laugh at it, it just the current environment. And I don't see no way in hell that we decorrelate anytime soon from like risk on. So,
yeah.
you
I
know,
mean, this is something that like I see all the time, and kind of people just really trying to change the whole kind of narrative of BTC, and obviously like when the tariffs hit, people started to say how it's good for Bitcoin because obviously it's a hedge against whatever
yeah, because it's
government
digital gold.
inflation. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think has been kind of proven the most that it's just a kind of Nasdaq on crack. Uh, so yeah, the overall bounce in the risk on kind of a environment is pretty obvious and leading the rally today these days, since there is like not that much happening. I think we spoke about this not last week, but when we spoke about last time, that narrative wise, this is something that is a little bit dry-ish. There's not that much going on, but I think one thing on the TradFi side is that we had we started to have some small inflows. Also, we had quite heavy outflows basically towards the end of February, and then also kind of a week ago, market still got kind of hit with some of the outflows. Yet the price kind of started stall, go sideways a little bit, which is usually pretty decent kind of a signal also for like a little bit of a relief. So if we kind of look at the um, you know ETFs basically.
Yeah, I mean, as for me, to kind of keep it a bit alive, if TradFi bounces, Bitcoin bounces. TradFi is bouncing, Bitcoin is bouncing. Incredible insight, worthy of streaming. But I do believe like short term. I'm currently, my positioning is long BTC and long Tesla, which is just like I'm shaking my head. It's like where how I'm spiraling down pretty hard. Like next thing you know, I'll be trading Bund with you. We'll be waking up 8 a.m. to trade the German session. No, but German stocks are actually mooning. I mean, look, to summarize it so we can talk crypto, it's very obvious the tariffs have been a bit of like shock. You know, people are. You have two sides. Like it became very political. Basically, Trump fanboys are like, "This is the best thing ever, make America great again," and like the other party is like, "Oh, you know, this is sending us into recession." So you have a lot of these surveys, like Michigan University and whatnot, which is basically like all the data is showing, you know, fears of inflation. I'm not gonna be full on macro larping. I think a lot of the bad headlines are behind us, that type of thing. You know, like kind of old news, if you will. And as far as I know, there isn't that much happening in the coming weeks. I have a calendar on the screen. There's PC next Friday, and that's kind of it until the tariffs go into effect, because April 2nd is the day where the tariffs go
Yeah.
into effect. And basically my kind of trade, why I'm long and what is my, you know me, I don't really do take profits and stop losses. I just know when to exit, meaning by what date I'm either wrong or right. And that for me is April 2nd. So I want to get the fuck out of my long positions before then, because then, you know, the cabinet is very likely to say something retarded again and I'm losing money again. But just now
Yeah,
was a
no,
headline, sorry to interrupt you, that there
yeah,
is
no.
a crypto, where is this fucking headline? Who was it? But basically, one second, let me find it. That there's going to be a major update on Trump's upcoming crypto strategy. It's basically, like last few weeks, to summarize it, been if you either want to trade, you're basically news trading Trump headlines, and I'm just so over it. So I've just been buying Tesla dip and trying to sell a few percent higher, and that is extent of my trading past few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of kind of this teasing of, you know, like a Bitcoin still this kind of a strategic reserve and kind of continuation into that. So I think that that could be kind of a possible you know, cause of a leg up, where they would, you know, like at the moment you only have the stockpile thing, but you know, if they would kind of come up and obviously say that, you know, they will start like actually buying Bitcoin, or you know, do basically anything um with, you know, like more kind of a actively participating in the market, that would be obviously, I think, super bullish. Could be probably like if, in my opinion, like if, you know, like they would announce something like actually buying BTC, that would probably be very quick.
Oh no, zero
uh
chance, dude. But that's just not happening.
yeah, yeah, but it's probably
Like the
too
biggest
too
single biggest
optimistic.
bullish narrative for USA seizing someone's Bitcoin is if America found a way to hack back North Korea. Um, like, but let's see. I'm just very skeptical. Whatever Trump and his cabinet of people.
Um,
There's this like NFL player. Did you see him? He's like Bo Haynes or whatever his name is.
no, no, I
He is
haven't
like
seen him.
in the crypto cabinet. I don't know what his name is. All the Bitcoiners. So he's like 23 years old, retired NFL player or something, or baseball player, doesn't matter. He basically played like college sports and is now in Trump's cabinet on crypto. It's like, what the fuck is, how are these people qualified? But every time any of these quote unquote crypto people from Trump's cabinet say anything, it's just a blatant disaster. That's why this comment of mine is doing numbers, because every time Eric Trump or all these fucking people say anything crypto related, I want to shoot myself in the head, and so does the market. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, definitely the whole kind of a um Trump admin with the crypto has this little bit of a grift issue.
what do you mean,
And
like a Melania coin, for example?
yeah,
Hello?
yeah, there has been some, you
Holy
know,
shit.
questionable things for which we obviously going to get called Euro poor and just get shit on, but yeah, it's been kind of a it's been kind of a roller coaster in that sense. Yeah, I think the chart is pretty simple. You know, we are kind of a breaking out right now from just like a two weeks or 1 week of consolidation. Um, I think higher time frame, there is like a higher time frame downtrend now, but on like a daily chart. But yeah, I still think that BTC, all things considered, is looking fine. Um,
Do you have like a
eh,
level you would like to see reclaimed before you can?
well, my last trade I was long actually from around 80k. I got kind of shaken out in this range. To be fair, I was hoping that we would go a little bit lower. Before higher, we had this, kind of a very ish price action, basically since start of the day. Um, so yeah, I am, like I said, I'm not really long, but at the moment it's kind of tough. I think if like I said, we are breaking out from this like a consolidation, which took last 9 days, 10 days, something like that, basically since we made the second low. I think if we are not going to completely die down today, and the news are going to hold, and if obviously the indices continue to go, ES is pushing
Yeah, they're
quite strong
moving pretty
at the
hard.
moment. I think yeah, the Russell is also holding quite well, which is this kind of a, I think of all of yeah, yeah, the Dow and Russell are doing a little bit better. Yeah, so yeah, in my opinion, if this is buying just going to hold, and if indices are going to start rebounding as well, I think there is a good chance that BTC can easily go. Um, I don't know what the level would be. There's not much to be fair. Like on this kind of a sell-off, this is a very messy price action overall. So I don't really have many levels here to the upside, to be fair, where I would like be like I'm going to short this or look for reversals. Yeah.
For me,
So
probably previous range low and moving
that's
averages.
like 90k or something.
I mean, I've seen a lot of people draw it differently, so I guess like pick your poison. Are you bullish or bearish? So you just move the range. But I think it's very fair to assume it's around, let's say, 87.5k ish. It's
Mm-hmm.
just the left
Yeah.
daily cluster on the
Yeah,
left
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
from,
that's probably a decent level to like.
and also 200 like bunch of moving averages there. I'm probably selling my BTC there, which
Yeah,
means
I
it's
think
gonna
that's
hit and
pretty
then
good. That's pretty good level you got there, and from like a TA point of view, I haven't really even looked at like a some order book data and stuff like that. To be fair, but yeah, it's been very muted. People were buying ETH.
yeah, I mean that I'm not even kidding. That is one of the reasons why I'm pretty bearish.
ETH BTC, yeah, up like how much is up?
5%
Uh, yeah, who's laughing now?
after minus 70% year to date.
We are so fucking back, yeah. Um, okay, yeah. So
I think
like I
Jerome
said,
just stopped speaking. I think.
if you have Velo, I think this
Yeah.
obviously this always kind of a good kind of gauge on, like if you are in a trade and you looking at like OI. If you see like everyone is buying with you, it's probably good to be a little bit more careful. Seems to be the case today though. From like my very quick here on the open interest, there's quite a bit of buying from like a London Open today.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would be definitely a little bit careful, especially like if we going to um, lose this FOMC week. I actually had this kind of a trade idea. Obviously, when you have like a range which is like super clean like this one, if you go to like hourly time frame and you can draw, the 5-year-old child could draw a level of SR here.
Yeah.
Um, the horizontal resistance in this case, like, and you have so many people usually hooked on this, and when we break it, we are, so incredible back. Like when these things fail, this is always a kind of a good short. But yeah, so far there's no reason to try to kind of fade it or jinx it, because sometimes even the simple things tend to work. So no reason to try to be a hero and try to short it. Overall, from stuff that I'm looking at, I know that you don't really have it here, but any kind of the order book depth, which was, there was like heavy bid side at the lows, and then like the beginning of the March. It's very flat right now. There hasn't been any kind of dominant side on higher time frame. The open interest is a little bit creeping higher. To be fair, we had a decent amount of buying in the first breakout attempt. This kind of a middle 14th of March. There was like a lot of OI coming in that could fade a little bit, but yeah, then now also. So from like a relative point of view, it's a little bit overheating, but yeah, I would personally, I will, obviously it kind of depends how this is going to close and if it's going to kind of gain the acceptance. But yeah, so far I would just treat this as a basically breakout from the range, and if we manage to not die completely, I might see this positively at least to a few percent higher. Okay, so I think there's not that many reasons to overexhaust BTC. Still kind of, you know, not that much exciting things going on. So there has been some Ripple news today. Um, you might have been keeping eye on that a little bit better than I did.
Yeah, I mean, it honestly, I'm surprised that it even. Now I'm gonna say it, people are gonna say I'm a betard, but like, I don't even consider it news. It's basically that SEC is gonna drop the suit. I mean, we knew that. I feel like at least.
Yeah.
So I'm not necessarily sure. Why did it rally? I think the other angle to look at specifically today, last 24 hours, is that you have a bullish news, and price went up. Actually, we literally named this show musical. What is the fucking name? Like musical chairs, right? Like the game, because you would have these altcoin pumps, and we would trade them a lot last bear market and like early bull market. But what happened last year is we had like no fucking altcoin movements whatsoever, right? You would have the classic project X on wheels or like launches Y, right? And like, oh, price went up. And we had none of that last few months, unfortunately. And I feel like it has some early signs of shit maybe changing a little bit. But I do believe it's only a byproduct of ETH BTC, being green.
Yeah. So
even though people hate it, but ETH BTC is your basically alt season.
So basically, we are in alt season right now.
Yeah.
Is your kind of TLDR on everything?
No, I'm saying enjoy trading the headlines until ETH dies again. I cannot see a scenario where Ethereum goes up anymore. Like they need to give Kobe. Kobe needs to run the Twitter. Basically, there's only chance for Ethereum to go.
Yeah, I mean it's it's kind of not much. Okay, so
maybe like questions time, because we basically trade TradFi right now.
Yeah, that's pretty good summary of it, to be fair. Like there is not, there is like no big narratives when it comes to crypto. Obviously I feel like there are no narratives when it comes to altcoins, especially. I was looking at some of the altcoins. Someone, actually, I don't know if you saw that, but we got kind of subtweeted after the last stream. Someone actually shared something about the fact that we were kind of making fun of meme coins being down so much, so which is probably like the best time to buy.
Oh, the classic. And which didn't all of them go down 50% in last week again?
To be fair, I obviously took it as a very personal offense and haven't slept for a couple of days because of it. But yeah, I've been looking at some of these coins. They are obviously down horrendously bad, but at the same time, like there are some signs of life. I was looking at things like Pepe, for example, has been kind of holding up. At least for a brief moment, doesn't look that bad. Holding some of these daily buyings a little bit. So I think definitely right now, obviously there is this like a big underlying risk of macro going to continue to be shit. Obviously, Trump is just going to, continue with all these tariffs and everything. But even these things kind of get priced in. You can just kind of um, keep those for so long until people actually stop caring that much. So and you'll like not stop caring, but they will kind of stop affecting the price. I think for altcoins, and I obviously we are Europeans, and which naturally means that we are always bearish, but at the same time I try to always kind of keep an open mind, um, so I'm not like too stuck in some of the opinions. I think overall I don't think that can you so I'm just reading some comment on YouTube. um, Yeah, someone asking about FOMC on YouTube. Look, in my opinion, um the market will always kind of like the price is always going to be the best narrative here. I'm obviously no macro um, expert in any sense, but if you just if market, I like we had a huge sell-off overall in indices, which I think that is getting rebounded now, and um, driving price of risk assets higher. So I don't think like there is much of a chance that BTC would like make it next leg lower by itself. If you know what I mean, like if like the S&P and everything kind of continues to hold decently well, I don't think BTC is going to go to like 60K by its own. Since the correlation has been kind of quite there, and it has been reacting quite strongly and about the whole kind of Trump admin and everything. Um, so that's probably, and the altcoins are always kind of follow. I think that the whole kind of the whole rally in the last year or so has been BTC led. I think we can kind of all agree that, and you can look at the old BTC charts if you
But
disagree with that.
apparently, this argument itself make you a bear. Like I really struggle, and I of course we sometimes joke, like especially me, like would like poke fun. But I mean, can you not see the like I'm a bit honestly trying to struggle. I'm sorry, I'm struggling to understand the argument for being a bear. I mean, the chart is down bazillion percent, and apparently saying that out loud is fudding. I'm I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
struggling to understand.
my point is here that like I like in 2021, for example, I tried to trade altcoins much more. We traded altcoins a lot together in, I think it was 2022 or three. I don't even remember when, although we were shorting mostly, but um, that's kind of the another topic. But I generally, for like this whole, like we had a couple of narratives last year. We had the meme coins, we had AI. After that, some other things maybe that I missed. But when I trade altcoins, it's in this like the most obvious setting where kind of everyone is kind of talking about it, and that's really when this kind of a musical chairs concepts coming in, when like everything is going stupidly up, and you just trying to be like not be that last retard basically who just ends up holding the bag. Uh, but right now, I don't really see that. Obviously, there are going to be like names, and that's probably boils down more into like quote unquote fundamentals of some of these altcoins, or like something that we probably are going to miss, because I don't think that we are really uh, that's not really what we do. But yeah, I think I would really just trade altcoins where when just everyone basically trades them, and when these narratives are just like so stupidly obvious, then that you want to be really taking part in it. But at the same time, I don't think we are going to be kind of actively looking at these just one by one basically, or just try to come up with some of the cases why XYZ should go up. Which for the point that someone made on Twitter, like, is this the good time to start to accumulate, you know, go back into meme coins, go back into some of the altcoins. Well, I mean, everything is down 90%. Uh, so if you like believe that
Okay,
like
Murad.
no, like I mean, after 90% correction in most of the things, like you, if you are not positioned, like the chances that something will just bounce 100 200% and then still roll over and die, it's quite likely. So I think it's like this is like not the best place to just short everything, obviously, after such a downtrend. But yeah, I think from like a broader narrative, and you can basically use us as the indicators for that, because I think we are, both of us are very like late to these things. Do not actively look at, like I don't really actively look at on chain and what's been going on, and or like look
Yeah,
at
but
all these new.
there's truly nothing going on. It's like when it
Yeah,
comes to these bigger trends, since we both were already in crypto, we had DeFi summer. What was it, 2020? Then you had alt season, obviously. You would have what did we have next? NFT bubble. This one is clearly was like meme coin oriented, which doesn't. I'm not saying they're never coming back. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. But it's like when you look at NFT market, I'm sure there's still people bull posting their JPEGs,
yeah.
but its problem is this space is very attention driven, and I think it's just holding altcoin from the basically like what I would refer as like from the past is like very tough sell because there's going to be a new coin like remember TST. I think it's the best example I can give, a recent one. You do you even know
That's
what it is?
that's like some Binance thing, right?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
yeah.
But look at it. I really want to like explain how is my thought process. This thing is, mind you, this is 5 weeks old coin. Okay, 5 weeks. So it did really well on chain. Got listed on Binance. CZ, our favorite Canadian, uh, shielded like subtly twice on Twitter, and since then it's down. If I'm gonna be like down 73%, and I'm not even doing from the wick, right? That's from listing on Binance. Problem is, so TST is 38 days old, and since then, just since launch of this, mind you, Bitcoin is down, altcoins are down. How many new meme coins launched that actually did get some like mind share, right? So you have people stuck holding TST, and this thing is absolutely never making a comeback because a new coin will get the inflow of attention, if you will. And for example, recent example from today, what is it? Fuck, I need to Google it so I don't Google anything racist, but Binance listings. It's like Mubarak. I'm just gonna make sure it's.
No, yeah, but I get the point. Like for me personally, obviously, I think there is like two
Mubarak.
ways how you can kind of approach these, like how you can
Jesus
approach
fuck.
these like new coins, meme coins, whatever it is. Basically, what I see the most people doing, which usually people have like a smaller accounts, is basically trying to get into these like new launches. Obviously, this is your kind of a one soul and dream. This is those where I mean, like people I see everyone is making fun of Wave now because it's basically dead uh, after you know being, yeah, it's like 50 cents now. The high was almost $5. So yeah, but like there is obviously, it rallied from nothing to $5 still. So like there is this approach when you, and know a lot of people who got in at launch. A lot of these coins obviously right now, they just die very quickly, but when the narrative is kind of there for them, like if you want to be getting into these new launches, that's obviously completely viable way of doing things. Not something that we do. Obviously, I think your win rate is going to be probably in the realms of like 10% or something like that. You will be just burning money, but then eventually you might basically get, this one big runner, which is going to do thousands of percent. This is not what I did. This is not what I do. I don't think you do that as well. What I did was, me being old and slow. I traded a lot of these things after they just been live for a couple days, couple weeks, and they were not dying. And like I got into some of these AI coins, not in that first huge leg up, but then when they still were showing strength, I just got in, for like 2-3x, got out, happy time basically. So uh, my point is here that I don't think you need to, like, obviously you do you always, but I'm not really looking for these coins to just try to buy now on this still kind of a free fall ish price action when they are has been just like going down like crazy. But if this is a bottom for some of these coins, then so be it. I will be more than happy to buy into actually kind of like established strength. uh Obviously my returns are going to be probably lower, but my win rate is kind of going to get higher. So yeah, probably the way that I see things. And yeah, I see you have BTC chart here, which is already retracing.
No,
Um,
us launching the stream was the actual top, like top.
yeah, I think right now, yeah, bonds are going higher. Dollar is bouncing, rebounding again. So I know that people are. This is a very kind of a crypto audience, and I also gave up a little bit on sharing because I trade mostly TradFi these days. I kind of don't really share much about it because I actually enjoy trading in peace. But yeah, there are some good things you can watch. If you watch bond markets, if you watch dollar index, you can look at yen. You can look at the Swiss franc, for example. These kind of a safe haven um, currencies.
Would
Big
you
kind of a
consider
risk off.
gold there as well in that
Yeah,
basket,
gold obviously
which is
as well,
making
which
new
is
all-time
gold
highs
is
each day?
yeah, gold is
Like
very
gold looks like
strong.
altcoins used to look back when we got in
Yeah,
crypto.
but I think it's very important, and I kind of probably will start sharing more about it uh, as well. But yeah, I think having this kind of a very global approach to the markets, because obviously the correlation is there, the risk on risk of environment are very real and affecting crypto a lot, would be very helpful for a lot of people, in my opinion. So yeah, um, that's that. Um,
But would you, to kind of, from me to be more serious, do you agree with like a statement or notion that Bitcoin with ETFs and all this institutional interest and inflow it simply became like more, more TradFi, if you will. Like it's even more confirmation that is, as you said, like Nasdaq on crack, and it has to be treated as such. Meaning, if you have this global uncertainty like we have right now with the tariffs and whatever trade wars and whatnot, I think it's pretty silly to expect, people to pile into BTC, and they are piling
yeah,
into gold. It seems, at least looking at the
yeah,
charts.
and I think the point is, and we spoke about this, and I think this is very valid thing when it comes to like the whole crypto environment. In this, basically, I would say, there has been like a big shift in crypto in beginning of 2024 when the ETFs launched, which obviously led to this big rally in BTC. Uh, is that the whole kind of environment changed, in my opinion. Like we saw, uh, like obviously we had a huge meme coin on chain season, but it was almost like a completely different thing with completely different participants. Like people that trade meme coins didn't really care about BTC at all. Like I saw some of the polls on Twitter, like no one cared. Like no one, none of these people hold Bitcoin. They are not rotating profits from peanut to BTC. Um, and same I think goes for Bitcoin. Like people who drove like the institutional buying of ibit or other ETFs, basically, which draw prices of BTC past 100k. They did not rotate these profits into fucking altcoins, basically. So
Even into Ethereum, right? Like to make it.
yeah. So we spoke about this whole pyramid thing, BTC, beam coins, altcoins, kind of this thing that's circulating Twitter during any kind of trending markets, and people I think a lot of people got burned basically this year about it, or the last year as well, where like people, although they were long BTC, they kind of started rotating into the altcoins and started basically kind of heavily outperforming, because that rotation never really came for most of them. Obviously, there has been some outliers, but in like a overall point of view, I think the overall crypto market got almost like split into two different categories, where you have basically Bitcoin, which now has big kind of institutional participation. ETFs make although gold is trading at all-time highs and everything, the flows into the Bitcoin ETFs were basically surpassed gold at some point, I think. So yeah, and then obviously you have this kind of a complete opposite of pump fun, uh, on chain stuff, basically, where basically there were like uh, two different bull markets, which I think they were not that correlated with each other, rather than BTC has been really, and also on top of everything, like ES and stocks and everything had insane rally as well, throughout the whole last year. So that kind of played together with that as well.
Like I just look at. I think it's very incorrect to assume that we only short and hate on everything. I think we're just very early to what would be defined as panic and or like see this shift in. I don't know if you can call it like modes in our language. It's much easier to like to say the word, which I'm not gonna. But it just it's just very obvious when not to trade altcoins to me, and it's just been that for a while now. It lacks narrative, unfortunately. I think XRP is a good outlier because it has the XRP ETF coming up.
When are the ETFs launching?
It should be, according to James Seyfert, the final deadlines are in November, I believe.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's still like, what is it, 7, 8 months away? But maybe, do you remember these like spreadsheets where you would have date of filing and you have like 4 different deadlines? So
Mm-hmm.
these are final deadlines. So maybe the newer cabinet, SEC, CFTC make things faster. But my point is, it's still very far into the future.
Yep. Yeah.
For example, let's look at Uniswap because Uniswap they had announcement literally minutes ago. Okay, we did go up quite a bit, but this does feel front run to me. If you can pull up Uniswap chart on your device.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right
So
now.
that
Yeah.
wick was the headlines and full retrace already.
And overall, like the chart, if you just zoom out, this once again, it's down 65%. From
This
the
looks like
highs.
Chainlink in last bear market, if you remember.
Yeah. It's interesting. Just feel like, and there has been this case with a lot of the coins, like in the past. I think when things just look terrible, all of a sudden they start to have like a decent rallies, which are always kind of very hard to time, and everyone is genius on Twitter. Although they were holding, they only need another 300% to actually be break even, since they have been bullish for the whole kind of move down. But yeah, it's tough. It's definitely tough. I feel like, also, from like my personal trading, I still find lot of good signals when it comes to BTC. From like stuff that I'm looking at. I mentioned this in the past, but for example on ETH, which let's forget for a second that it's the most cursed asset on earth, but uh, the most cursed asset in the world. But like for example, ETH, with the whole Ethena
Ethena.
situation, like how they influence the open interest. I personally just saw like my edge being almost like much worse than on anything on like Bitcoin, for example. And I have this thing with most of the altcoins, to be fair, where I just like feel like I'm at the end of the day, any kind of a signal I get, any kind of a things I see ends up just being a correlation to Bitcoin. So
Yeah, but maybe this time is different. This is half satire. Obviously, I don't believe this, but if Ethereum outperformance actually lasts, that is quite literally a definition of all season. But it's just like why would it?
yeah, well, I feel like these things are like only, you are always just one kind of news away from complete shift in these things. So yeah, but I'm
But
I'm
we
looking
had
at the
all the news already for ETH.
yeah.
Ethereum ETF, a flop, EIP 1559 or whatever the number was. It's basically in a downtrend on every single metric in that you can make up since September 2022. Think about it. It's going to be 3 years anniversary of Ethereum being absolutely giga-cucked and giga-fucked on every single metric that crypto analysts use. So
Yeah. So let's talk about Solana for a second. We had a CME futures launch. Um, Let me actually check the volumes
volumes.
yesterday were a little bit sad, to say at least. So let's say how actually not yesterday, but the launch date, which was on Monday. Let me see. Solana CME futures. Check out the CME group. Uh, Volume and OI. Yeah, yesterday the volumes were even lower. than It's traded 171 contracts, which
My God.
is 500 SOL is one contract. So, yeah, you can do the math.
600K ish.
Yeah, it's yeah, like Monday was 194 contracts, which translates to 12 mil
Okay.
notional. So 171 is going to be around 10. That's not great, definitely, but it's I to be fair, I don't really remember the launch of ETH and
It was
BTC
50 mil.
futures
ETH was
on
50 mil.
ETH.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and BTC launched all the way back in 2017. I remember this was around the time where I actually got interested in crypto a little bit more. So that's like a long time ago now. But yeah, like these once again, these still can pick up. I think when Solana is also having ETF, right?
Yes. Well, look,
Yeah,
even though the volume is clearly a like parody at this point, but I do believe I've seen that you need this product launched before you can get the actual ETF. So,
yeah,
but the question then is, and I think I don't want to fudge too much because I'm sure half of the audience is holding Solana. Like, how will the ETF do if this product is basically like
yeah,
like on a good like on a when we're actually trading that day we do more volume than this product, like come on man.
yeah. It's interesting because yeah, I think Sol was more tied into the whole kind of a meme coin craze, which obviously Sol has been one of the kind of outperformers. Rallied basically last year from well, it opened at the beginning of the year at $90 rally. It's still outperformed BTC percentage wise at least. But I feel like it was led by the uh, the meme coins and everything, which was kind of so being the main native currency for that. Uh, so it depends. It brings the question how much there is like a institutional need, uh like not need but institutional interest for Solana, because clearly there is not much for ETH. The I always love the far side Twitter account when they tweet the zero net flows into the ETH ETF. That's always fun to watch. So obviously there are going to be some of the carry trades. in the
Yeah, it
TradFi
keeps having
space.
outflows.
But yeah, like obviously, a lot of these derivatives they bring up a lot of delta neutral traders, but that's not really a
Yeah.
real kind of a demand. Like Bitcoin, for example, the Bitcoin ETF had very clear uh, inflows and very clear kind of a buying, uh, like obvious buying demand. Like you could have seen that, which was not really case for ETH. So yeah, I think I'm kind of a questioning how.
Are you bearish Solana ETF? Are you? How
I
dare
think
you?
I'm more bullish XRP ETF, to be fair,
Yes.
than Sol,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
like
yeah.
XRP, is this more of a, like they lean heavily into,
Uber
yeah,
drivers.
Uber drivers and the the bank coin and everything, while Sol is just, they had this commercial. uh,
Yes.
yeah.
What are your pronouns?
Yeah, it's being kind of, I don't know. I like I said, and I think we agree on that. Like for XRP, I can kind of see, and I can believe I'm saying that. I can see why this could be more of a interesting thing, but for like a Solana, which is layer one, which is tied to all of these meme coins, uh, solely judging by how poorly ETF did. Um, I think it's going to be a little tough, but
But basically, what you're saying, you would not have high expectations for the ETF, and when it comes to Solana,
I
uh,
think what I'm saying is that I think that if Solana is going to have another, rally, if it's going to have another leg up, I think it's more likely to be tied to kind of a revival of the on-chain volumes, and once again people just going into meme coins, and just generally um, Sol as a kind of ecosystem seeing a big volumes, rather than, it's been solely driven by like insane uh institutional interest. But I can be completely wrong. I just uh am judging from uh what I saw in the last year, basically.
what I like about Sol is that it had, all the unlocks are almost done. It still has basically like 5 more weeks of small unlocks. There's what it's like just around $700 million worth of unlocks, which is not a lot, but also in a in a environment where there's, as I like to call it, not a single fucking net buyer in out there. It's a lot of selling pressure, and David Sachs and all the White House bros got the exit and the on the infamous Sunday pump on March 2nd.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of, hopefully, like, I do believe that Solana's worst is behind us. That I do believe Solana 111 was the bottom for now, but for it to do well, I mean on relative basis, like if Bitcoin goes up 10%, of course Solana will go up at least 10%, right? But I'm looking for an outperformer, and if I cannot outperform Bitcoin, what's the point of trading Solana or holding it? And I do believe also, if Solana meme coins make a comeback, then Solana obviously will be the biggest. So like if you want
Yeah.
to bet on Solana meme coin coming back, you should not be longing any of these shitcoins, just long Solana and or Fartcoin probably.
Yeah, makes sense. um so yeah, I think we covered some things. We spoke about some things. Someone asking if there is a room for a small bull cycle. Well, I mean, like I said, I am, in my opinion, like let's say that we, ETH BTC is up now. Um, in my opinion, if the indices and stocks kind of bottomed out around here, and we see bounce from that selling we had in the last couple of weeks in the TradFi, or in like a risk on assets in general, if there are not going to be any kind of insane news from Trump and all the kind of surprises and everything, which drives these things to shit, then I think we can see a little bit of a rebound here at least. Um, from my point of view, I would
Yeah, I'm
say.
also pretty bullish. Probably not the
Yeah.
tickers people would like to be, but I'm pretty
Look,
bullish
like in
BTC.
the simplest way, everything is up, down a lot in since, top of January. I think um, when markets are going down, you generally want to be kind of looking for uh, rebounds rather than just trying to short everything with everyone. Because at the end of the day, or at least this is the way that I trade. I like to look at markets where there is like a peak. This kind of a sentiment uh, is always very one-sided, and I try to kind of fade these things. At the moment, I feel like the sentiment is very bearish on crypto in general. So yeah, I would prefer to see higher prices from here. Um, but yeah, that's more or less my point of view. From like my personal trading, I know that I cover mostly on Twitter Bitcoin because everyone cares about it. But yeah, I don't. Like it's interesting for me at least because, like I said, I trade basically everything that's listed on CME. I trade everything that is listed, or not everything, but I trade a bunch of markets listed on the Eurex, which is the European Futures Exchange. Um, but yeah, so I kind of see a lot of interesting opportunities there. I think Bitcoin right now is not really out there for me that much, although it's not looking that bad at the moment, at least.
Maybe some like good questions.
Okay, yeah, let's for the last 10 minutes. If anyone has questions about some coins, if you think that we missed something, if you think that we are stupid, let us know.
Oh no, we
Let's
are stupid, but that's not
let's
news. That's
let's
like
just
saying Ethereum is shit. It's
yeah, let's just argue for next 10 minutes, and then we will close
like
things
me and
for
you.
today.
Fuck you, man.
No one asking questions. That's pleasant. I
I
think.
mean, everything is so dead. It's like what is.
Yeah, I think the sentiment overall has been pretty shit on Twitter.
But isn't
People.
it like I still think it's net positive? Like it's like honestly like the last remaining like autists who are still around, they get to make the most out of the next leg up because they're staying around and keeping even just like logging in every day. I know this is not to be like motivational speech, but like that is an edge. People like truly log off for a few months and they just then miss shit what is happening and just
Yeah.
literally surviving this, and you don't have to trade. You can just be online and read what is happening, try to form an opinion. And that is like, I know that's why we did pretty well in 2022 and 2023 trading wise, because we did not give up, even though it was fucking dead. Like sentiment at like low 80s felt like after FTX, just everybody is skeptical, jaded, crypto is a scam, fuck this.
Yeah, I think that there has been like a uh, that's actually a pretty interesting comment on Twitter that SEC basically dropping all of the cases in the last couple of weeks. I find that pretty interesting and also possibly kind of a bullish thing that crime is legal again in the USA. Um, but yeah,
No, it's
I
it's
mean,
of course good. I mean, it's obvious the cabinet. I mean, I highly encourage you all to pay attention to Eric Trump's and World Liberty Finance. It's basically you send them a bunch of money, meaning like when they're raising, they buy your token back, and this is your basically entrance to White House. It's literally pay to play, right? So if you play any like video games, you buy something, like you buy an item and you're invited to the cool kids club. That's basically Trump administration right now. And XRP, like the news today, I can look at it. Donald tweeted it pretty well, I think.
the thing is, I think with the whole Trump admin, although things are going to shit right now, I think Trump is very or like the whole kind of cabinet at the moment, they are very uh, market heavy, right? Like if you remember back in the last uh, time Trump was president, like he was basically a fucking stock market commentator, right? Like it was like such a huge
Yeah, sorry
thing
to
that
interrupt you. Blockworks President Donald Trump to address Digital Assets Summit, which
yeah. So
is we
so
are
I
so
think
back.
Trump is going to kind of very heavily care, although it might not seem like right now. And I saw a bunch of kind of a theories why this wholesale of it is actually bullish, whatever. I think the whole admin, and not only for crypto but also for TradFi, they will they want to see prices to go up. It's their kind of a measurement of success in a way. So I think in when it comes to the next, like this is obviously not next week situation. This is a next 4 years um, situation, or like the longer term view. I think obviously this whole uh, cabinet, and like the whole the fact that they still lean into crypto is bullish. Like in I think that's pretty hard argument. And even though like if the like Solana saving futures launching and they are doing no volumes, but we still are getting these ETFs. We still are getting this kind of a broader adoption. So I think that's pretty good. This is not an environment where things were just super kind of doom down bad. So I think overall this is good. Obviously, the question is, and from what we saw in the last 5 years, like we had two of the kind of a black swan events with COVID and the FTX. These were kind of the best opportunities to get in. Um, so it kind of depends now. I think. Obviously, I would love to see even more, because like I don't really have that many like a long-term bags. I'm not really the spot and chill person, but yeah, when I buy spot, it's like a dead sentiment. It's like the most over it has ever been. I don't think it's that is happening now though. So yeah, I'm still a little bit like um, I'm not like super super bullish, but also we are down quite a bit, so I'm also not bearish, and I'm mostly just trading these like shorter term intra-week rotations at the moment.
So Trump is gonna speak tomorrow on Thursday, and I expect it to be a nothing burger. It's
Yeah.
interesting because you know what's hilarious? Like, remember the whole Bitcoin strategic reserve thing? If we got this headline just a month ago, I think we would be rallying for like 5 to 10% today, basically.
Mm-hmm.
My point is, you would see even on like 1 minute time frame Warriors Unite, you would see like some price action. We are seeing nothing, which to me is very very indicative actually. That is very very useful signal to me that people just are tired of this guy. When it comes to, I think my velo is lagged. Price is not moving. But yeah,
Yeah.
Trump first sitting U.S. president to speak at a crypto conference, and price is doing fuck all. Or maybe we're just early, which often happens when it comes to news trading.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we covered few things. There's no reason to just speak for sake of speaking. I think the TLDR for today's stream is that you should be paying attention to TradFi. I think most of crypto people hate TradFi. You share, you talk, you speak about the S&P. You talk about DX. People just laugh at you. The dollar DX being the dollar index. People just laugh at you for most of the times. You share FX chart, and this is so much bottom because like you pivoted to the different market. But I think personally that we are in a very correlated environment, especially now since there are not that many narratives. Obviously, this can change very quickly, and this is the very hard thing when it comes to uh, having president like Trump. where he just can just say something and it will be complete shift in the narrative, which is then for a news traders, which I think rather is a little bit. uh I'm not.
But
So
I'm retiring. It's you can only do it so long before you wanna kill yourself.
yeah.
At least for me. But
So
it's
so yeah.
still the best. I gotta say, man. Like the most people I've seen make a lot of money very quickly, and I don't mean quickly like in 5 minutes, but the highest returns I've seen, it's always been a news trader.
Yeah, it definitely, like I'm not really arguing with that.
Yeah,
The when and that goes even for altcoins. Like if you would get early into this XRP move, like yeah, it's super competitive. I never really done it. So my opinion here is basically almost invalid because I never really hated myself that much to sit in front of the screen for 28 hours a day and just be tied into Squawk. Obviously, you can have these things automated, but I know a lot of people still doing it by hand, and there's big competition there. To be
yeah,
kind of quick enough. But yeah, it's these kind of, definitely there is a big return potential on that, and that goes for altcoins, that goes for basically anything. Um, if you are willing to give this time, I think that's also, like, if you really want to trade now. I think, once again, like I just said it, I don't really have much of a experience with it, but I think in environment like this is a little bit easier because there is not that much happening, and markets are not that volatile. Like overall volatility in market is pretty low. So right now, catching stuff, I think for I'm looking at I on my screen here, I have a XRP 1 minute chart today. Like even if you bought like 1 minute after it started pumping, which it's often basically too late,
yeah.
you would still end up getting money, making money. And the uni swap, yeah, that was a little bit different.
Yeah, it was pretty underwhelming. I actually on my screen I opened the charts like during the stream.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
see the wick.
yeah.
That's about it. But you can also short these. Like, look, we're not gonna get into news trading. It's just I think it is single best use of time if you really wish to day trade right now. If you don't wish to day trade, just become Adam and just change countries and stuff. So
Just become a refugee, basically. Okay, guys. So thank you for tuning in. We've been live for an hour. As I have said, the streams are sponsored by BonkBot. So we thank a lot BonkBot for willing to keep up with us, the most inconsistent streaming duo. But yeah, if you want to show some love, show some support, you can use the link. I just shared it in the chat. With all of that being said, we will catch you next week again. We will talk about,
Bitcoin.
hopefully, I don't want to close this with the things that I tend to say often, with more interesting things. But yeah, we will see how things are going to be looking next week, and we will try to um, cover what has been kind of a main things all around that. So yeah,